Anthony on Air podcast back for another episode. We have a whole slew of stuff to talk about. Ghislaine Maxwell goes 0-3 on the bail attempts. George Siegel gone way too young. New York State, I should say. That's wrong on the thing. Is preparing to legalize weed.
Way to go.
Cinnamon toast shrimp. That's going to be the big topic. We'll hit that in the middle. Meghan McCain making some news, and we have shrinkage pollution. Fun little story. We'll get into it. Hero Soap Company, the proud sponsor of the podcast, as always. Make sure you guys go and get yourself some Hero Soap. More on them in a second. Link in the description below. Frankie C is here with us. J7.
What is up?
How you doing, my man?
Doing all right. Not as bad as Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, so 0-3 on the bail bids, and her lawyers today filed a notice of appeal. So they're appealing once again. I feel like they're just going to appeal this right up until the start of the trial in July.
There's nothing appealing about this.
There you go.
Thank you.
This is like court jokes. We got the shrimp appeal thing, and it's like a whole thing.
Oh, appeal and eat shrimp.
There you go.
Appeal and eat shrimp.
But yeah, so her trial is July. That's March is basically over. April, May, June. You got 3 more months. She wants bail for 3 months. It's kind of crazy, but this is what people
3
do.
months could be an eternity when you're in jail.
I guess so. So, she put up her, she said she would forfeit her citizenship to the UK and France, and she would stay, and $28.5 million and all this stuff. And
she
judge
really wants out.
She wants out in the worst way. The Judge Allison Nathan, issued a 12-page decision denying the $28.5 million bail package and the citizenship and all that.
Why would it take 12 pages to say no?
That'd be great if she just submitted one line. No.
No. Yeah. Denied. Just one of those big red stamps.
Yeah.
Denied.
Exactly.
Do they do that?
I don't know if they stamp it.
I mean, what jobs do you have that big red denied stamp? You don't have those in enough jobs. They should be in every job.
Yeah, there's a lot of
power. Such an iconic motion. Just
a lot of power in that stamp. I like that a lot. So she remains in the Metropolitan Detention Center with the brown water and the waking up every 15 minutes. And I'm sure her brother somewhere is still upset, but nobody seems to want to talk to him anymore, which is good because he hadn't really much new things to say.
Yeah, no, he ran out of steam after interview 1.
Basically, that is true. So that's the latest on Ghislaine. Not a ton there, but of course, as always, we keeping our eye on that Slick Willie, and we'll let you know what goes on.
It's only been a couple of days since our last update. Not everything could happen in a day or two.
By the way, I did make a note of this. This is so weird because again, Bill Clinton hasn't been convicted of anything, right? But we agree that there's enough suspect activity there for that people should be staying away from this guy. No?
I mean, we know he was on the plane. He visited the island and was on a plane.
Yeah.
On the plane there. That's I guess all we know so far.
So Kamala Harris,
really
the vice president, is going to do a one-on-one with Bill Clinton Friday to talk about the impact of COVID-19 on women and empowering women and girls in the U.S. around the world as part of the Clinton Global Initiative. Like, this is a bad look. Is it not a bad look? Like, what are we doing?
I might pick someone else to do that with. I don't know. I mean, we don't want to do an empowering women thing. Maybe, I don't know. Just off the top of my head, a woman.
Well, not a bad take, my man. But I question them including him on the Democratic National Convention. I'm like, how does this guy still even have any sort of stock or power? Supposedly he's
Slick Willie.
I guess so. And now it's kind of like, this is like really weird. Like, I feel like this is very strange. Like,
hey,
Trump
is still backed by a lot of people, and he's kind of sort of semi-involved in this too.
Yeah, I feel like the vice president should be like, you know what, we can do this with anybody else. I would love to talk about empowering women, and I would love
Even
to
Hillary.
talk about,
Hillary would be slightly better.
Although about less than a tenth of a millimeter, yes, it would be slightly
Better.
Squeeze your fingers
Meghan
together.
Markle.
That's basically.
Give me, almost anybody. Pick up any woman on the street, bring her in, and do the interview with them. It would be better.
Yeah. Do you think that Meghan Markle has looked worse the more that Oprah interview has aged? It feels to me like you felt for them hardcore the next day, but I feel like slowly people are kind of like pulling back from the royal couple, going,
maybe a little, but that's just because of the response, I guess, from the royal family, and it's not really that big of a response. So it's kind of just hanging out there in the wind. There's nothing. There's no follow up to all this yet. It's still kind of out there.
I think the accusation of racism isn't sitting well with people.
No, especially people in England that are probably like, dude, this is our queen. This is our royal family. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's not sitting well with people, but hey, if those are the facts,
It's such a tough spot though, because I get you wanting to just let everybody know many of the reasons why you left, right? But at the same time, not wanting to like directly out and ruin the life of the person. Like, obviously it's his family member, so he's trying to protect them somewhat. He kind of went halfway, and I feel like that's not sitting well with people.
Well, he's got a, you know what it is? He's a guy caught between his wife and his family, and it's like he's trying to ride that fence. Like, I got to keep my wife happy. I got to keep my family happy. I'm the husband stuck in the middle. So he's kind of trying to keep the peace on both sides, I guess. But what would be great, what I would love to see, is Oprah interview the Queen. That would be a good interview, I think. Just a little, all right, we got one side. Let's hear your side.
I don't want to be combative, Frank, but I'd like to see the Queen interview Oprah. I'd like to turn the tables on that Oprah for once.
So you want to learn more about Oprah rather than the royal family?
Yeah, I want to know what the Queen would ask her.
Does she follow Oprah?
Probably fun stuff like, how do you actually cook something? How does that work, Oprah?
You think she's ever? I'm sure she's cooked something.
Oprah, what is it like to tie your own shoelaces? Because I haven't done that ever in my entire life. So.
You know what's weird, and I'm gonna screw this up. I know this is like I know like 1% of this story. So the Queen, I believe, as you grow up in the royal family, you're supposed to learn some kind of trade. Just I guess just as a random thing.
Okay.
And I think the Queen is, and again, you're gonna laugh at me. You're gonna think, all right, you're an idiot. But I'm pretty sure the Queen is pretty good with like mechanics, like with auto, like car repair and stuff like that. Knows a lot about cars.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't laugh. That's interesting. I could see that.
It just sounds ridiculous that I would just come out with that, but I'm pretty sure that that's like a skill that she has, that she learned about it at some point or another. But it's weird. It's a weird thing for, what is she, 87, 92?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing to think, she could like change a tire on the side of the road.
Her father was a mechanic. Her uncle was a mechanic.
Her two cousins on my father's side were mechanics. Your family is obviously qualified.
But what about you? I worked in my father's garage. Oil changes, tune-ups, rebuild the carburetor.
Rebuild some crannies in your father's garage.
Yeah. I feel like we should give Marissa Tomei an Oscar for that movie every year, though.
Yeah, it doesn't get old.
No, it really doesn't. It really, really doesn't. Speaking of movies and actors, we lost the great George Segal. And here's my thing, Frank, and you know this. I like a character actor. I'm not saying that he was. I mean, you feel like he kind of became one towards the latter part of his career. But I like, some people like the Tom Cruises and the Will Smiths of the world, which I enjoy. But I like those lesser known guys and gals who carry movies and TV shows, and this guy was maybe one of the best.
He was a great presence. He seemed like you put him in a role, and I don't know, everything gravitated towards him. He was like a good lightning rod for other actors and just talent, I guess. Like it all bounced off of him.
Yeah. One of my favorite roles was he was the dad in Look Who's Talking. Yeah.
Yeah. He was the sperm donor.
Yep.
Not really donor, but in all intents and purposes, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Mikey's dad, his biological dad.
Mikey's biological dad. And I'll never forget that scene where he's talking about how like his office was redecorated and she takes the baby diaper that was just soiled and throws it on the desk.
Now it's junk.
It's just fantastic.
It's a great scene.
He was in Just Shoot Me for a billion years.
He was great in that. I love that show. That was
a lot on Just Shoot Me. The Goldbergs recently was a big one of his.
Yep.
Probably one of his more famous and respected roles was Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
He was nominated for that, right?
I think he was. Yeah.
For an Oscar.
I think he was. The Original Fun with Dick and Jane was him.
Guy's been around.
He was. I thought he was brilliant in Entourage.
Never saw Entourage. I never got into it. It's one of those shows I had no desire to get into. I just, just knowing what it's about, I'm like, all these people, these self-entitled, I can't get into.
It's you. I can't even tell you how
Shut up.
No, you've mischaracterized it. I think you would like it a lot.
It's just
really good.
That type of person, like that, almost like the. That's why I'm not a huge fan of like mafia movies, because I don't like that sociopathic, self-entitled BS that people in those movies have. They're like, "Oh, you know who I am," kind of thing.
Right.
I hate that.
Yeah, you missed it. Not that at all. I think you would enjoy it. Yeah. No, I think you would actually quite enjoy it. It's about four guys from Queens. I think you would love it.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
He was in Cable Guy.
Was he? He must have been. The only scene I could picture, I guess, when he goes to does the game of password at his fiance's.
One of those guys, like one of the friends.
He's like the dad, and he goes the password.
Oh yeah, he was the dad.
Nipple. I think he was in that scene. I don't know.
Yeah. How much you think a guy like him is worth? Like he was. You go up and down his IMDb. The guy's
not to ask me how much anybody's worth.
That's true. That is true.
What? I'd say a few $100 million.
You guess. I'm going to look it up in a second. The guy, I'm on IMDb right now. His first TV movie was in 1960. And he had been steadily working since 1960. And let me see, when did he basically stop? Well, the Goldbergs, he was
Still
on
going.
The Goldbergs up until this year. Yeah. He was on The Simpsons in 2018. It looked like he had taken a little break. Well, the Goldbergs from 2013 to 2021. He was on The Simpsons in 2018, Elsa and Fred in 2014. So it kind of looked like around 2012, 2013, he kind of really slowed down and stopped. Like all those years before that, he had done multiple things. He did one thing in 14 and one thing in 18 besides the Goldbergs, is what I'm saying.
Well, the Goldbergs is a full-time thing, I would imagine.
Probably a good amount of money for that.
Yeah, for an 80-something-year-old guy, I mean, that's a full-time job.
Yeah. Why am I so curious about people's net worth? But I just am.
I'll say $350 million.
Wow. Okay, that's way higher than I was gonna guess.
What would you?
I was gonna say around 10 or 15 million.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. What do you got?
All right. Let me look it up. Let me see.
Because I mean, these days, I have no idea what anybody's worth. You know what? That is kind of high. $350 million. That's
you're showing that, and every time we play one of these guessing games,
I don't know what anything's worth. This iced tea cost me $10, so I can't.
Please tell me that your wife handles the finances in your household.
She does. She definitely does.
She's got no choice.
I don't know what to pay for anything.
All right, let's see. George net worth, according to Celebrity Net Worth, George Siegel had a net worth of $10 million when he died.
See, I think in our hearts, he's worth $350 million.
Oh, in our hearts, he's priceless. He's an American treasure.
Yes. Agreed.
I have to check and make sure he's American. He's probably born in Canada, like all the other good actors. But yeah, so there's your because you know what it is. Like you work steady, and $10 million ain't nothing to sneeze at. But
that's a lot.
That's 50, 60 years of working to get to that. That actually, that is a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, 10 mil. I don't know. I mean, that's including his house, all his assets and stuff, right? That's got to be everything included.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
I feel like he should be worth more than that.
Probably, but he probably spent a fair amount,
Yeah, that's probably true.
Probably buying up all those shrimp cereals like those Hollywood types are doing these days.
Go for a good bowl of shrimp cereal.
Oh my God, I can't wait till we talk about Cinnamon Toast Shrimp Guy. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. But we got to talk about New York State.
Yes.
Weed.
Ignore the leaderboard that says New York City because it is.
Who writes the leaderboard?
It is New York State. New York State weed legalization as we bring in our own meth head, J Sabs. How are you doing there, J Sabs?
Oh,
Oh,
great.
There you go.
All right.
Great.
All right.
How about you guys? So this is what we're talking about?
So they're talking about legalizing weed. When I heard that Cuomo wants to legalize weed, I was like, boy, there must be a hot new allegation out there right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's was my first thought.
Well, obviously it's because I'm going to step forward and tell my story about him.
Oh,
Listen,
are you?
I just want Dining to go to 100%, and that's all they need. It's one more girl, and it's going to 100%. That's it. So
what are we up to now?
75.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that brings me to this other point I've been thinking about lately. Does anybody know what any of the rules are anywhere anymore?
No, I just stay home.
They're all over the place. I don't know where.
I'm not dealing with this.
No, but I don't know where schools are at, if you can travel, who's got restaurants at what percentage.
I know everything.
It's so hard to keep track anymore.
If you want to travel domestically, you do not have to quarantine now, which is great.
Is that right?
Yep. I don't know if you need to prove with a negative test. Every airline is different, but you don't need to quarantine. In New York, I know you don't need to. Restaurants on Long Island are at 75%. In the city, it's 50%. Schools, 6 feet apart, but I think they're going to go to 3 feet as well.
Now, my family said, because I was with them over the weekend at a super spreader event, and they were saying that Italy's getting ready to shut down again. I don't know if that's true or not.
For Easter, they're just doing it for, I think, a week, and then that's it. So we'll see.
Can we be honest with one another?
What?
Well, oh, here we go. Whatever you're about to say is going to be super offensive, so buckle up.
No, it's not. It's not. But
yeah, okay.
If we had a 3-week shutdown again, that'd be the worst thing in the world, would it?
Yes, it would be.
Pussy.
Just one more. I feel like we should have an annual shutdown, to be honest with you. I feel like every year we should just shut her down for a couple weeks.
You don't like humans.
I don't really like humans.
I was just saying.
You don't like humans?
No, I love humans. Which is why we need to get back to normal, which the quickest way to back to normal is to follow the rules for a little while. Yeah. And then we'll be back to normal.
Doesn't Europe like go on vacation in August or something? Do they keep shit open? I don't know how it works.
It's pretty much like July and August anyway. So
yeah, we should get into
December
that.
too. So
man,
I'm just saying
over here.
Like I'm just saying, I don't say like keep the restaurants, keep the restaurants open, keep the parks open.
Oh yeah, give a vacation to everybody except people who work in restaurants. They get screwed.
They always have to work anyway, so.
Working in a restaurant's the worst because it's like, and then you get Monday and Tuesday off. Like, how miserable is
weird.
that?
Nobody's off those, or unless you have friends who are barbers.
Yeah.
Nobody's off those days.
And that's like cool the first couple of weeks because you're like, this is awesome. Everybody's working and I'm off. And then you realize that like you can't, there's nobody to hang out with or do anything with, you know,
Yeah.
except other restaurant people, which is not who you want to hang out with if you work at a restaurant.
You do not. So basically, in order to get some kind of universal time off, vacation, whatever you want to call it, we'd have to decide which group of people we want to screw over.
Well,
some people still have to work.
We could even do a, you know, if your last name starts A through M, you get these 3 weeks, and if you're N through Z, you get those 3 weeks. We could do that. I don't care.
There's whatever. Just give it. You just want to not work anymore.
I'm not taking anything. Let's be honest.
You just want to retire.
No. I'm going to make a point that you're all going to agree with, and don't try and pigeonhole me as a horrible person.
Let's see.
This is going to be horrible.
Let's put aside all the deaths because that was very unfortunate.
That's a hard thing to put aside.
It's a very big boulder to move, but let's just move it for a moment.
Okay.
It was kind of nice. We all had that 2-week period in the beginning where it's like, we're going for walks with the family and we're baking our own bread and we're spending more time with each other. There was kind of a nice 2 to 3 week moment in there where it was kind of like, this is like kind of how life should be for like 2 weeks. I'm just saying for 2 weeks to be like, go for walks every day and really spend time with the family and get back to making home cooked meals and shit like that.
I like not having to commute every day.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's a big thing for everyone. Like, who wants to spend that much time going to and from the city?
And it was like 3 hours out of the day, hour and a half in the morning, hour and a half in the evening, and and you're exhausted at the beginning and end of it, and it's like, what the, just to be able to wake up and start work was amazing. It's still amazing, and you have time to over this whole thing I've been cooking, spend time with my new dog, the stuff like that. You get to do stuff with your family.
Yes,
of course. I don't like.
There's no difference for me. There's I have to say there's no difference for me, but maybe because I wasn't working full time. I was only working part time, which I missed that desperately. If I could go back to work tomorrow and work 80 hours a week, I'll go back. Really?
Yeah, but you work close to your house, right?
You just want to get away from your children. That's a stark difference.
I was.
Yeah, and you work close to your house, so the commute isn't that bad.
12 minutes away. That's why it was good.
Look, here's the thing.
I didn't. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, this is a Northeast thing too. I can't speak for the rest of the country or the world, but we all kind of shut her down for 3 weeks in January every year anyway. Like, it just gets too cold. We're too fat from the holidays. We stop going places. We do the Netflix thing. We don't really try at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the difference if we move that over to the summertime where it's a little bit more fun for everybody? We can go to the water park every now and then. That's all I'm saying.
I'll boost the economy, get some of that hard-earned money back into the, into amusement parks and whatever the hell else we're doing.
I don't think it would hurt the economy, is what I'm saying. If we're all doing it and we're all still,
Well, become a teacher. You get the summer.
Does that mean we have to stay here and just like not go anywhere, or what?
No, you do what you want for the 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. I want to go shopping. I want to go out to eat. I want to go to the beach. I want to go to the pool.
Yeah.
That's all I do anyways.
It's just the universal, like, that's it. The stock market's closed. Post office is
everything's
closed.
Shut down.
Banks are closed. Like, obviously, you can go to the ATM and
Europe,
shit.
then.
Yeah, but there's got to be some people running something.
Yeah, like
hospitals have to be open.
Of course.
There are.
But that was the thing.
Supermarkets.
But that was the thing, Frank. A lot of restaurants didn't close. A lot of garbage was still picked up. People were still going to work and doing things throughout the pandemic.
Right. But if it were, it's not you, so it's like, let's have the time off. There are people who would not be able to take advantage of that time off.
We need the doctors. We need people flying planes. That's always going to be. But I feel like we can finagle some time for those particular people that have to work during this time. Like, we can figure out their week, 2 weeks somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's what vacation time's for.
Anyway, legalizing marijuana in New York. This is going to be a big deal, I feel like. New York's the big one.
Yeah, that's everything after that it's like the snowball effect. It's just gonna.
Yeah. Like, okay, California and Colorado, obviously they can handle it. I'm not impressed. Like, we have to really see if New York can handle this. That's going to be the real litmus test.
No, the real litmus test is going to be a red state. Old blue states are, liberal and let's get all the weed.
Wasn't Colorado is Colorado a blue state?
I thought so. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
But yeah, I think New York will be able to handle it, I guess.
More important issue. We do 420 is, I believe, a Wednesday. That is a show day. Are we going to do a 420 show for reals?
Yes.
I don't partake, so I don't know.
Oh, come on, Frank.
You're not going to partake? Experiment with us?
See, this is what we call peer pressure.
All right, let's leave the peer pressure alone for a second. I want to ask Frank a question. Are you curious at all?
A little, but I'm not a fan of the smoke.
You don't have to smoke it.
Right.
I wouldn't smoke
like
it.
a gummy or whatever is probably fine.
I would do Janine, I would only do gummy.
See, I'm against all smoking. Just because if you want to eat a gummy, if you want to do something to yourself, you do a drink, you do it to yourself. But if you're smoking, you're making the choice for everybody around you to smoke too.
Yeah, I get that. I see that.
So I'm against all smoking.
What do you mean? You're making people breathe it in, you mean?
Exactly. So
Right.
if I'm smoking somewhere, I'm out on the street, everybody around me is now smoking too.
I hate smoking.
Throughout, through no choice of their own.
Have you both ever tried a cigarette?
No.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. But you know what's weird? I
never
can't
have.
bear a cigarette, but a cigar in the summer.
Ugh.
Nothing better.
Cigar.
Ugh.
Nothing better.
Smelling
Why?
someone
They're so
smoke a
gross.
cigar is the most disgusting smell.
I agree. What is appealing about that? It's the equivalent.
Nothing.
If I took a little Tupperware full of
Of
dog shit,
Yeah, exactly.
and went around, and for about 5 or 10 minutes, just took the lid off, and I just sat there like this and breathed it in because I like the smell of it.
Exactly.
But everybody else around me, oh, you don't like this smell? Tough shit. So, and I'm just sitting this, and then I'll put the lid back on, put it away. That's the equivalent of smoking anything, especially cigar.
I hope people in the comments are going to come to my aid, like they do for Frank when I lay into Frank, the way he just laid into me.
It's a trendy thing to do, but does anyone actually really like to do it?
I mean, if you have a choice between fresh air outside, the grass, the flower, and shoving a cigar in your mouth, it's the most disgusting smell. Like, I can understand if they smelled good, but they don't smell good.
I definitely rather smell like marijuana than smell cigar smoke. It's
Even
disgusting.
marijuana it smells like a skunk. It's disgusting.
I just smelled cigar smoke and now I want to throw up. Thank you.
Ugh.
Thank you, fam.
I
That's
want
so
everybody.
gross.
This is the second show in a row I'm taking a beating on the glazed donut episode incident, as I'm calling it now, and now the cigar.
Nothing against you. It's against cigars. I mean, not to mention even I think Seinfeld had this show, but you turn it around and you get that chewed up nub at one end. It's disgusting. There's nothing appealing about a cigar.
Yeah, it's like guys do that. You know what I mean? Like girls go get their nails done. Guys will go and fucking smoke some. Yeah, but the smoke other thing, smoking the pancake.
Let me tell you something, and we'll move on to cinnamon because we got to do cinnamon toast shrimp. It's a big deal. I love a cigar.
I know you do.
And you talk about fresh air. There's nothing better than sitting outside
and ruining your fresh air
and having a nice little cigar, a little bourbon or whiskey or something or scotch.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'd like to be able to breathe.
Well, but you don't inhale a cigar. You just keep the.
So what's the point?
You keep it in your mouth.
Gross.
It's the taste. It's the relax. There's something to me that is relaxation.
Wow. Okay.
It's disgusting. Though.
Like,
it's so disgusting.
You pour yourself a drink. You sit outside. Sun goes down.
That's like the biggest con in the world. Let's take some grass and weeds and plants, roll it up and sell it. people suck them down like the M&Ms.
That's what you
and
said.
will make a fortune. It's such a weird thing. How did that ever catch on? They stink.
I think let's do this. You try it. You try a cigar.
I've been around cigars,
and I'll try
smell
listening
them.
to music via CD today, and we'll each
CDs
try
are great.
our own things, and then we'll see how we like it. Maybe I'll start liking CDs again. I don't know.
CDs are good sound quality.
CDs nuts.
I think CDs sound better than any kind of digital thing.
Sorry.
But I love it. I asked my wife. That's when it gets nice out. I will sit outside every night.
In high school, I used to carpool with someone whose uncle would drive us to school, and he smoked cigars in his car.
Ew.
And every morning I would get
Obviously
in the car.
He's single.
No, I don't know, to be honest. But every morning I'd get in the car, and it'd be like a half-hour drive to school, and I'd have to have my head out the window through the whole ride.
So
and then when I got to school, the teachers would ask me if I was smoking. And I was like, no, it's...
All right, now let me ask you a question. We've been friends for a long time. Have you ever smelt cigar smoke on me or in my car or in my home?
No, but I've seen you smoke cigars, and they stink. I'm around them. I know what cigars smell like, and they're not appealing at all.
My point is that people that do that are disgusting. Like I don't love... I'm aware of that, and that's why I do it outside, because it doesn't get on.
Which is very courteous and fine. However, the thing I don't understand is how you can enjoy that.
There's something about it that is just, it's very relaxing and intoxicating. It does give you like a little, not a high feeling, but it does. I don't know. It makes it just and the flavor, the taste of it.
Burnt tire.
No, it's really I really got into it. It really.
I would curb it a little, because down the road, my father said he wishes he used to smoke cigars. Because I wish I never did it. It's hard to breathe. There's complications later in life. I'm just saying. Just saying, curb it as much.
How many
as you
cigars do you think I go through in a year? 15, 10? Yeah,
That's
maybe.
a lot. No. That's like one a month.
People will do it every day. I don't know.
Yeah, that's not healthy. And mouth cancer, all that stuff.
I'll tell you what's not healthy.
Not saying that everything's healthy. I'm just saying.
When I was at LNG, I would go outside. I would smoke cigars every night. Not every night, but I would do it quite often because it was just beautiful. There was a radio station on the water, and it's just like you just sit out there and just enjoy a cigar. I'd put on Meatloaf, that 11-minute song. I'd go outside.
Are you kidding me? What are you, 67 years old?
I think you just need something to do while you're outside. You're just bored. So you go outside and you go, I need something to occupy this 10 minutes.
Yeah, there is
light
that.
This thing on fire.
But anyway, I was running back and forth inside, because you'd go in, you go on the air, say whatever, put on another 12-minute, 14-minute song, go back outside. I went back outside and I picked up the cigar and I put it in my mouth on the wrong end, and it was total ash right on my tongue. It was the worst moment of my life.
How did that not turn you off of cigars forever?
It was bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I finished the cigar, but it was a real. It was
you
a
gross bastard. No, I'm kidding.
All right, cinnamon toast shrimp guy. After our Hero Soap Company read, I love this soap. I was just talking with Lucas the other day, who is the very proud veteran.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Is that like a shrimp tempura?
That's
next to Janine's head.
Yeah, we didn't do the narrow. We got a pile of shrimp there.
Very nice. Okay,
Janine could. Yeah.
Like Pac-Man.
We abandoned the arrow for this on the leaderboard and put a shrimp in there. Anyway, it was just chatting with Lucas. He is so thrilled with the support of the listeners and viewers. You guys are the best. I can't thank you enough. He's so happy again. He's literally a veteran who is just trying to start a business. And Hero Soap Company, they're still such a young business, but they make such a great product. So go check them out. Link in the description below. They got some new flavors. Now, I keep saying flavors. What do you say?
Scents?
Aromas? Scents? I don't even know.
I guess so. Sense.
There's one I'm curious about. The woods. I might go for that.
The
Ooh.
woods?
Yeah.
Ooh, which
That
woods?
sound good?
And you wake up, bathe in this the night before, and you'll wake up with a
There you go.
wood.
There you go.
They
Yeah,
should
I
put
don't.
that guy on the cover of it.
I don't
What's his
know
name,
if
Wood?
the aroma is the actual like forest or just multiple versions of the porn star that got out big
Right.
in the pandemic. I'm not sure.
Or just like a pile of chopped wood.
Yeah, could be either one. But either way, listen, I can speak for the spearmint for sure, and I could speak for the peppermint and cool. That one tingles when you use it, and I kind of like that. So
Ooh, don't put it in your
Tingly.
butthole.
very nice.
Right.
Ooh.
Subscription.
There you go.
20% off when you use the promo code Anthony. They'll deliver however much soap you want every month to your house, so you never have to think about soap ever again. Thanks to Hero Soap Company for sponsoring the show. Link in the description below. Cinnamon Toast Crunch Shrimp Guy.
This is weird, man.
There's a lot to unpack here. So the guy's name is Jensen Karp, and I have to give credit to
Carp.
Which is a very odd name anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Wait.
It's another fish.
We're not even there yet, dude. I became aware of this. I got to give credit to Seth Rogen again because Seth Rogen, who I follow on Twitter, started retweeting this guy's tweets, and then I got caught up in it, and now I'm following this guy. This guy had like
Oh no.
60,000 followers, and now he's up over 180,000 followers.
Damn.
Is that because of this cinnamon toast shrimp business?
Yes.
In a day. In a day, because of this, it has exploded so much. It's gone so viral. So here's the photo of it. He tweets this photo. He pours out a bag of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and you can see right there, what are those two objects right there?
Those are
Shrimp
shrimp
tails.
tails, baby.
They kind of look like shrimp tails. So he puts this out on Twitter, and he ats Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and he says, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, why are there shrimp tails in my cereal? In parentheses, he puts, this is not a bit. And why it took off and why it gained a lot of virality, if you will, is because of their responses to him. Like their first response to him was like, you know, send it in to us and we'll send you a coupon for a free box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
That's
And he-
sweet.
His response was like, the fuck you talking about? Like this, are you kidding me? Like this is a serious matter. There are shrimp tails. So they wrote, after further investigation with our team that closely examined the image, it appears to be an accumulation of the cinnamon sugar that sometimes can occur when the ingredients
No.
aren't thoroughly
No,
blended.
sorry.
We assure you that there is no possibility of cross-contamination with shrimp.
I'm picturing a guy standing on like a catwalk over a huge vat of almost like Batman Joker style of a huge thing of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, eating shrimp and tossing. Those. Can you get any closer? Yeah, those are shrimp tails.
Yeah, I'm sorry. There's no way that's like the
That's not a-
no,
that's not
no, nope.
Coagulated
Sorry.
cinnamon sugar.
Nope.
So he then we're skipping ahead here. I want to make sure that we hit every bit of this. Hold on.
How'd they taste? I hope it was the first bowl. Like he didn't already have a bowl of it a couple days ago, and then on the second bowl he pours out the shrimp because you know that whole bag's contaminated.
Thanks for bringing that up, Frank. He had already eaten a bowl
Oh
when he
no.
came across this.
no.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I have Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I'm a little nervous now.
You're like, I'm definitely not touching that.
Mm-hmm. I just a couple of weeks ago, had such a craving for Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I went to the gas station to buy those little like individual bowls and sucked
Wow.
it down.
They are
That's what she
good.
said.
They're the
Cinnamon
best.
Toast Crunch is awesome.
The best. I love Cinnamon Toast
I
Crunch.
found a very healthy alternative to it, and it tastes really good.
To Cinnamon
What is
Toast
it?
Crunch?
Yep, Kellogg's makes like a protein cereal that tastes just like it.
Do they make something that?
Do they put shrimps or scallops in theirs? How does it work, Janine?
Ooh.
Explain it to me.
Made by Gordon Ramsay.
Oh God.
Do they make something that tilts your camera down?
What?
Is there smoked?
Hey.
Is there smoked paprika in it? I want to know.
Ew.
I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting to use my smoked paprika. I have no. I'm looking for something to put it on. Maybe my cinnamon toast crunch.
Have you guys ever had something either like when you went to a restaurant that wasn't supposed to be in your food, or you opened up like a package like cereal or chips and there's been something in it?
I went to a diner and I had here's another shrimp thing. I had a shrimp salad sandwich at this diner on toast, nice, looked good. There was a hair in this shrimp salad sandwich that, I kid you not, had to be that long. It was like wrapped around.
Hair is very normal.
Yeah, but this was a huge hair, and it was like wrapped around the sandwich. I was like, I rarely send stuff back, but I had to get to the waiter and be like, dude, is it possible to get a new one? I never do that, but that had to go. That was terrible. What about you?
I actually think, Frank, you might have been there. I went to go eat at a diner near St. John's where I went to college. We eat this meal. It's like a diner, so they bring you out like coleslaw and pickles and everything like that, and then we had like appetizers, and then we had like entrees. Maybe Frank wasn't there. I don't know. So they bring everything out. Who picks through the coleslaw, whatever. I think I had a couple bites to have a pickle. We had some wings. We eat our entrees. We're literally wrapping up the meal. I think the check came, and out from the coleslaw climbs this huge roach. Just climbs like he was You were there?
Yes.
It was a roach, right? Wasn't it a roach?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody had I forget whose it was.
I repressed that memory, but yeah, now it's all coming back.
What did you do? Did you tell them like hello, like, or did they see him having a party on the table?
I think we did. Yeah, I don't remember. And then I also remember we had an experience at IHOP once where there was like, it was a nightmare. It was a mess. This was like 15 years ago. We were kids. Like, it was like first get your license. There was like 10 hairs in there was 14 of us. There was like 10 hairs and there was like 10 out of the 14 dishes had hairs in it.
The chef, maybe you'll check on the chef. He might be having some problems back there.
Things were getting forgotten. It was awful. It was awful. And then I'll never forget this, but the maitre d' or the owner, the manager, whatever, screamed at our waitress because she was like bringing the food back, and he screamed at her. And
I wasn't there for this, right?
I don't know if you were there, Frank. This was like a billion years ago. And I'll never forget this. We felt so bad for her, but like it was just off. Like we were like, there's hair, and like every other person was like, there's a hair in this. Like,
okay, I'm gonna
So they wind up comping the meal. No, I think
14 people.
I think she brought I can't remember what it was, but they wound up obviously because we were like, you got to be kidding me. Like nobody ate. Like nobody, everything was like a quarter eaten because everybody started finding crap in their food. But I remember we paid the bill, like whatever the bill was, $150. We all put in and we gave it to the waitress as
that's good,
as a tip, because we were so pissed off at the manager. And we made I think we brought him over and we're like, we're not paying for this meal. And he reluctantly was like, fine. And then we all put the money together and like handed it to her as we looked him dead in the eye.
That's
like,
awesome.
You're a piece of shit. Like, I'll never forget that moment. That was a good moment.
How do you not, as an owner or a manager, whoever he was, that's an instant, this meal is free.
Yeah, because and it wasn't like she was like pulling a hair out of her head and putting it in on the way over this was like this was in the kitchen problems.
Were you like all a bunch of kids and it was like he was suspecting everybody's trying to maybe scam him or something?
Yeah, right.
Maybe, but it was like a nightmare because I remember there was like a couple of other tables that had some issues. It was an awful. I don't know what the hell was going on in that whole thing.
It was not a good IHOP to go to.
But remind me to tell you one of the classic Anthony stories at the end of this because it kind of pertains to all of this. But Janine, did you have a story? Because I want to get back to the actual facts here.
This is a quick one, but it's disgusting. That's what she said.
Oh, good.
Gaetano, my husband, was at work, and in his building, in the basement, sorta, there was like this little deli, and you could like get your own coffee from like one of those things where you press down and you get the coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So later on, he sends me a picture of this like little reddish brownish thing, like all crumbled up. He's like, this was in my mouth. So I was like, what? And he's like, I thought maybe like it was like a, like a blood clot in his nose and he swallowed it. I don't know. So he's like, I was on a conference call and I was drinking my coffee and this thing was in my mouth. Like I had to like, I couldn't do anything on the conference call. I just had to take it out of my mouth and it was a roach.
Oh God.
Mama.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what did you do? Like, did you run? He's like, no, I was on the conference call. So I couldn't even say anything. All I did was open my mouth, take it out, and just put it silently into this into this piece of paper. And
I think that's reason enough to jump off the conference call.
No.
That reminds me of The Sopranos when Tony beats the crap out of some guy, and then he goes to his kid's PTA meeting, and he finds the tooth in his pants pants cuff, and he like slowly like has to like put it in his pocket.
Oops. Yeah, that's absolutely that is the worst story I've ever heard, because to me roaches are the most disgusting things.
Yeah.
What about
I'd rather
rats?
see a mouse than a roach. Nope. I rather see any rodent than a roach.
What about a possum hanging from your baker's rack?
Opening his asshole to show you.
I actually had a couple of years ago. I had this with an iced tea company. Frank and I were just talking about iced tea before the show. I used to bring iced tea when I was doing mornings. I used to bring iced tea in, and I would just drink iced tea. And you know how there's some iced tea that is like on the shelf and it doesn't matter, and there's some iced tea that's like in the refrigerator section.
Yes.
And
Right.
so I'm pouring the iced tea into like I go in, I pour a cup, go in, work, come back out, next day pour a cup, whatever. Like the third day I go to pour a cup in and I hear kablunk as I'm pouring the thing, and I'm like, what was that? And I couldn't see anything, but I definitely heard something. So I'm like swishing it around. It was like this jellyfish-like substance in the cup.
What the?
So
in
now
iced tea?
In iced tea. So I like panic and I like write the company, and I'm like, and I got the same response that this guy got. Like, sorry
Here's
for your inconvenience. We'll send you a free. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm never drinking your iced tea ever again. I just want to make sure that you're not poisoning the country.
Were you able to identify what it was?
What they said is that if there's an iced tea that should be refrigerated, if it's not, something can happen with the sugars where they kind of like coagulate.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Okay.
So it sounds like at some point in the process, it was not refrigerated and then got refrigerated again. And then that's what they say it was. I don't know.
At least it's not.
I'm
some
very
foreign...
nauseous from this conversation. I think I have to go get a ginger ale right now. I'm not even lying.
Careful what's in there.
I know.
You never know.
At least that's not some kind of foreign thing. That's something that happens with the sugars. I have one more.
Oh,
I
no.
was a kid. I had to be like 10 years old or something. I was at my aunt's house and she had apple juice in the fridge. And I poured myself a glass and I didn't look.
Uh-oh.
I figured it's apple juice. It's fine. Took a sip and I feel something hit my lip. And I look in it and I don't know. I didn't get a chance to examine too closely, but it looked like a cocoon of some kind. Like, I don't know. It was round and it was white and web looking. I don't know. It looked like a cocoon. And I just went, holy crap, threw it out. I was a kid. I didn't like make a huge, I just told my aunt there was something in it and she threw it out. It didn't, I guess it was just old or something. I don't know what it could have been.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Anyway, this is the tweet that they sent him. You can see here, it says, "Thank you, Jensen. We would also like to send you some General Mills vouchers for this unpleasant experience. If that's okay with you, we'll send them right away." And his response was, "No, you just told me it wasn't trim tails."
But it was an unpleasant experience. Shrimp tail or no?
Yeah. So he says there's still time to save this, guys. They are shrimp tails. And they wrote back to him. Thanks. As mentioned previously, we definitely want to make this right for you. Our quality team would like to get it sent to us so we can take a closer look. We'll be sending a prepaid addressed envelope so you can send the pieces to us. Can you please confirm that the address you entered in the email is where we should send it? We have also created a report reference number for you. Thanks. He said, yes, but I'm also going to keep one of the two because your last response publicly was super weird. And since you'll be receiving a shrimp tail, I'll keep one so you don't continue to try and say it was sugar and make me look insane.
That's
a smart move. Thank goodness there are two of them. If there was only one, I'd recommend cutting it in half or something. But from those pictures, they look like shrimp tails.
We're not even done with it.
Oh, good.
What?
Next chapter. There's like 7 chapters in this story.
Oh, God.
Next chapter. He says, I was convinced to go back through the bag since when I first noticed the shrimp tails. So, little backstory here. This isn't a regular box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. This is a family size from Costco, which means that
it's got like 2 bags in it.
There's 2 bags in a bigger sized box. So he goes back in and goes and checks the other bag. And what does he find in the other bag?
No.
More shrimp tails and what appears to be a rope and some other bits of debris.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
So now, and he also discovers that the bag was taped and then looks closer at some of the Cinnamon Toast Crunch and finds a couple of pieces with what appears to be little
turds?
Black turds that
are you fucking kidding me?
Legitimately baked in to the Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh, what kills me is that he already had a bowl of this.
He already had a bowl of this.
Oh, my God.
So General Mills is either made a really big boo-boo here, or this is their new cereal, Shrimp and Rat Cheerios. I think that's...
There's a market for everything.
Yeah.
But what my question is, what state? Where does this guy live? Because if it's in, I mean, I guess they ship all over the place, but I'd love to know where this box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch came from. Like what factory?
I think he's in California. There you can see that one of the strings inside the bag before he opened it.
That is string.
And then you could also see here, this was the bag that was scotch taped.
Oh, dude.
You can see there's like some scotch tape in that one.
The
Man, if you're listening to this episode, this is a real great reason to go over to the YouTube channel and watch it and watch this show because the
visuals are stunning.
Yeah. And then he also by the way, the internet never just look at some of the things he retweeted.
Doesn't quit.
Somebody photoshopped this Cinnamon Toast Shrimp now with more rope, and they put a rope through the O.
Nice.
Yo.
If they were smart, they would change their mascot to a shrimp. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Right.
Have a little shrimp.
Yeah.
Holding up the cinnamon and being cute. But
that should be their new mascot.
He showed and then he took a picture of the bottom of the bag, so you can see there's black dots. You can see the rat shit. It's all.
Oh, you kidding me? Like no.
But so somebody said along the way, and I don't know if it was General Mills or somebody, but they said he literally tweeted like shortly after this at US FDA, you up? ?
That's perfect. Oh my God.
Oh God, that's hysterical.
Somebody said that like, it was probably, I think it was General Mills. They were like, we think it was definitely the Costco since it was clearly tampered with since it was tape bag. But then how do you explain the baked in rat shit? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe my guess. Sometimes you get like a burnt piece of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, like you get like a dark part of it. That's like
that's shit.
That's like put together
that's
cinnamon. It's probably shit. I'm just trying to shine a light on this thing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make it positive. But there's rat shit, shrimp, and rope in this guy's cereal. Those are not prizes.
Yeah. So they responded to his thing that when he said, you're trying to make me look insane. This was their next response. Hi, Jensen. Our team reached out to you by phone and we left a voicemail. We wanted to set up a time to have FedEx stop by to pick up the items you found and all the packaging. FedEx needs a 3 to 4 hour window where you are going to be available for them to stop by. Please let us know what works best for you. We have available time this afternoon, blah, blah, blah. Please let us know what you prefer. He wrote back, I won't be giving you this stuff, especially as last I heard from you, it was an envelope. Again, your tweet calling it sugar was super weird, and the fact that you haven't said anything to the contrary doesn't allow me to trust you with it at all. You're being super sketchy and odd when this was a very easy PR response to make people feel assured you care about your product. He said, please email me for any further correspondence. And then he also said there is also no voicemail, just 7 seconds of silence.
I was just about to say, at least they're trying to investigate this.
Yeah, they're not.
Well, then they tweeted, then they sent out this tweet. And you see that tweet in purple. And it says, while we are still investigating this matter, we can say with confidence that this did not occur at our facility. We are waiting for the consumer to send us the package to investigate further. Any consumers who notice their cereal box or bag has been tampered with, such as the clear tape that was found in this case, should contact us at 1-800-328-1144. But you see what they're doing here? They're like, there was tape, so none on us. But that doesn't explain the baked-in rat shit.
No, that doesn't explain that.
Explain that.
So somebody offered to do a test for it. Somebody who is in a lab nearby him is like, come down. I study crustaceans. I'll do a test for you.
Yes.
So he's waiting for, I think
that's hysterical. I hope it's shit. I really do.
No, that guy can only determine if it's shrimp.
Right. So then they started.
Shrimp.
Then they started emailing him as he requested. Dear Mr. Karp, thank you for getting back to us. If you are unwilling to send the items and cereal packaging to us, please provide these items to your local law enforcement. This may be product tampering, and we need the opportunity to investigate the packaging. His response is, okay, the police you want to involve for your investigation can call me at the number I initially sent to you, or by contacting me at this email. I'm not walking into a random police station yelling, here's the shrimp tails that General Mills wants. Like it's a smoking gun from a murder. I also didn't get back to you. You got back to me. This is the first email I've received from you. We've only spoken over Twitter, direct message. I did email you initially through the submission form, which you guys are applying to for the first time here. You are an insane mess of a company.
I'm picturing him walking to a precinct with like a
shrimp tails. Officers, here's the shrimp tails.
What? Nobody called ahead and said I was coming with this?
Guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Then he did an interview with the New York Times, and he said, I spoke to the New York Times, and I'm quoted saying, I'm not considering legal action. Obviously, if I ate rat poop, we're going to have to readdress that.
Yeah.
So what's the next, like, what does he want? He wants them to be investigated, I'm sure. Like, they have to just do the right thing, General Mills, and they have to look at the company. And if it's not General Mills, if somehow it's the place he bought it, there's got to be an investigation there too. Yeah. Again, the rat turds.
So
are they baked in rat turds, or are they just like stuck to it?
No, they were baked in. You saw it. They were baked in.
It could just be smushed onto it.
Disgusting.
So he found a carcinologist, a crustacean researcher that works at NHMLA, who's going to morphologically identify the shrimp using microscopy. I love that he has to go to this blah, blah, blah. It's a fucking shrimp tail. Anybody with eyes can see this, yet he's got to go and get this.
Here's the test.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, God.
I'll sign whatever you want. It's a shrimp tail. Yeah.
So that was 22 hours ago. And we're, I guess, still waiting on the answer. Meanwhile, some guy, Chef Andy Lunique, sent him a shrimp crusted with cinnamon toast crunch recipe.
Nice.
Oh my God, how hysterical!
The internet's just having a ball.
The problem with that is you got to buy more cinnamon toast crunch to use for that recipe.
Right, exactly.
And that sucks because I love cinnamon toast crunch.
Who doesn't love? It's one of the best cereals ever.
That's depressing. Now I'm going to be like.
So now we go to find out that this guy, Jensen Karp, the reason why Seth Rogen was tweeting him is because he's got a podcast. Who fucking doesn't? But he's married to Topanga from Boy Meets World.
Really?
No.
Oh, that's funny.
Who, by the way,
weird.
Her real name is
Topanga.
Danielle Fishel.
Shrimp? Fish.
Mm-hmm. So Fishel married Karp, and now we've run into a shrimp issue with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Oh my God. Is this made up? Come on. No, right?
This is God having fun. Saying, this is going to be fun. This is going to be funny. Fish, carp wedding. And then we'll give them shrimp tails.
Shrimp tails.
So,
do they have kids? I wonder what the kids' names are.
I think she has one.
Salmon.
By the way, Topanga, top 5 hottest chicks of all time.
Oh yeah.
Such a huge. Topanga got me through my my adolescent years.
Yeah, the 90s were.
What do you mean?
But I feel like I was alone in that. I feel like Topanga was not a.
Yeah, you were alone in that.
No. Well, you got to be. But no, I agree. She was a dish.
I knew you during that time. You weren't like, oh, Topanga's hot.
Snack.
I felt like I was alone.
Yeah,
I was embarrassed to admit that she was hot.
I didn't walk around yelling it, but I agree with you.
I did. In fact, I once walked into.
I jerked off to Topanga last night. Cool, me too.
I once walked into the middle of a police station yelling, "Topanga's so hot."
Oh my God.
You did do that. I remember that. I was there for that. That was after we found the roaches in our coleslaw.
So do you? This was the roach that was in my coleslaw, everybody.
That's disgusting.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what milkshake ducking is?
What?
Milkshake ducking. Does it have anything to do with milkshakes, or is it not even close?
Milkshake ducking.
It's not even close.
All right, so it's nothing to do with milkshakes. Then no, I have no idea.
So milkshake duck, if you look it up, this is the Wikipedia definition. It's an internet meme that describes people who are initially perceived as good but later revealed to be flawed.
Everybody's flawed.
Supposedly there was a meme back in 2016. The whole internet loves milkshake duck, a lovely duck that drinks milkshakes. And then 5 seconds later, we regret to inform you the duck is racist. This was like a tweet that Pixelated Boat sent out in 2016 that
so stupid.
caught fire. And now milkshake ducking, or being milkshake ducked, is the term for when you catch heat on the internet, like you start to gain in popularity, and then somebody finds out some bad shit about you. Which
So the person that is bad is being milkshake ducked, or are we as a population, as the public, being milkshake ducked because
no, Karp is being milkshake ducked.
Yeah.
Because now people are saying because of course when they start to gain in popularity, people start to tweet about it then. And this one girl tweeted that his ex-girlfriend tweeted that he was nasty to her. And then another girlfriend was like, yeah, he was super demeaning to me too. And then there was 50 girls that were like, yeah, this guy's a piece of shit.
Oh God, of course.
Oh man.
So I don't know. So milkshake ducking was trending today because they think it's
I thought it was canceled.
Starting to happen to him.
Oh God.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think this is different from being canceled because it's the nobody knew who this guy was for the most part. I mean, I guess he had a following. He had 60,000, 70,000 followers on Twitter, so he wasn't totally unknown. But as you rise, then whatever it is that thing that they discover about you, and then they take you down. That's the milkshake ducking. That's the process. So that's happening.
So he was a jerk to his ex-girlfriends.
But I don't know if Topanga would be with a guy who was a complete and total jerk.
Topanga
Yeah, you don't know if Topanga would.
Yeah, like I don't think Topanga could do any wrong. To be honest
Topanga.
with
Topanga.
you. Exactly.
That's terrible. Topanga.
Topanga.
I don't know. You're better than that, Topanga.
Yeah. All right. So here's my classic all-time story. I'll do this quick. When I was a kid, this is one of Anthony's earliest pranks. It wasn't even a prank. This was an early inclination to my family who I was going to turn out to be. Okay. We would have these like chewable vitamins. Okay. And in my household, money wasn't free flowing. We didn't have them Flintstone chewables that some of the rich kids in class had. We had the generic, store-bought brand and whatever, which tasted like garbage. It was awful. So my mother would tell me every morning before school, go take your vitamins. And this was like her way of like letting me be independent. Like she would just be like, go take your vitamins, go take your chewables. And I hated the way they tasted. So I got like the little like chewable candies, like the whatever they were, I forget what
like sweet tarts or something.
Like a sweet tart thing. Again, it wasn't a sweet tart because money trouble in the early days.
Right.
So it was the generic version of a sweet tart. So I took out all the vitamins and I put in all the little sweet tarts. So I thought, like, when it came time to go get my vitamins, I'll go just pop down.
Is it Runts?
Whatever it was. Yeah, whatever it was. So for whatever reason, one day when I was at school, my mother decides, let me see how many vitamins are left because I'll go order, like we were getting down to the bottom. And so she dumps out the things and there's like 4 legit vitamins and like 2 of like my candies. And this was right around the time in the 80s when somebody had put something in a Tylenol bottle.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember this? It was a huge controversy.
That's right. I remember that.
And it was it was a big thing because it had become the gold standard in how to handle clearly what General Mills isn't doing.
Oh no, don't tell me your mom blamed the store over
Tylenol pulled all of their product from all the shelves. They took everything off the shelves. And it was
from then on, it was like they had to tamper-proof everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right, exactly. This was all before the tamper-proof stuff. This is basically it. So my mother pours this out, sees this Italian mother, whatever.
Oh my God!
Flips these bastards
fuck out. Calls the company. Called everybody. Like everybody, cousin Vinny, like whoever she can get on this product, like right away. Calls this school to check and make sure I'm okay because I took my vitamin this morning. Now she's worried about what I ingested that very morning because she sees only like 2 of the things. And
that's amazing.
I come home from school and she's like, the FBI's been to the house. Like this whole day has transpired.
No way.
And I come home and she's like, we found this thing. Like she sits me down. Like she's like, you might be dying giving me that speech. And she's like, we found this thing in your vitamin thing. And I go, oh, you found my candies? And she goes, what? And I start hysterical laughing. And I was like, yeah, I was putting candies in there, Ma, so I didn't have to take the stupid vitamin.
Tell me she threw you through a wall. How does that not
was
happen?
she pissed off?
Needless to say, she was a little upset. She was a little upset. But everybody at the FBI thought it was hysterical after all said and done, to be honest with you.
That's good. At least they have senses of humor.
Yeah. I still think to this day, although I apologize to my mom, I still think that that's brilliant. I don't give a shit who you are. That's
pretty funny
as shit.
It's hysterical, but yeah, the ramifications. You didn't think ahead on that one.
No, I didn't. I didn't know my mother was going to freak out and call the National Guard in over my like it's a candy. Like who didn't,
Right.
That's fantastic.
I blame her. I just kind of, who can't notice a candy?
She did overreact a smidge.
You're going to pay for that. When she sees this, she's going to be very upset.
Damn it.
You just got me out of trouble.
Show her that specifically, and that's it.
She did react appropriately to finding.
Yeah. She's going to be like, and that Frank, wait till I get that Frank, that son of a bitch.
She's my second. I love you, Mom. She's my second mom.
Yeah. She always says that you're her second son, which has always made my brother feel uncomfortable. But anyway.
Your brother's an asshole.
Meghan McCain. Janine, this was your topic.
So she was under fire today. Woo!
Yeah.
On the interwebs.
Do you want me to play what?
Yeah, go ahead.
What she said?
Yes.
All right, well, that would have helped if I had it fucking queued up. But
Way to go. Way to tease us all with that.
Little tease.
I fucking
Swinging
had
on
it,
this.
and then I lost it. Well, it came from
Man.
2Fab. Who the fuck reads 2Fab? What are you doing
Me.
with your life, Janine?
I read two Fab's a popular thing.
Is it?
They're
I'm
an
18
offshoot
years
of
old.
TMZ.
Oh, are they?
Yes.
They are.
All right, so here's what Meghan McCain said today.
Louder, can't hear it.
All right, hang on. I was so excited about my stupid candy story.
That was
Going to a
stupid.
place where even if people need money, even if people are qualified to get into Ivy Leagues, race and gender is more important than your skill qualifications, the content of your character. It is not what Martin Luther King Jr. preached. I think this is a very, very slippery slope. I was very surprised to hear someone like Tammy Duckworth say something like this. She got a lot of blowback from a lot of people, not just on the right. And I think this is actually just the natural progression of identity politics. And I will say, just to put a cap on this, The View is 25 years old next year. We've only had one Asian American co-host this show. So does that mean that one of us should be leaving at some point because there's not enough representation? We're talking about, is identity politics more important than qualifications of a job? And I think that's a question going forward that the progressive left is going to have to reconcile.
Okay, and before we go, because we're going to go and take a break, eventually we're going to...
Fucking Whoopi didn't know what to say after that. Who did she say was Tammy Duckworth that started this all?
Basically, she was trying to say, like, there should be more Asian American people out there than I don't know.
Listen,
basically, she was just saying that. And
let me say this, and I don't care if people think this is controversial or get offended by this. This is the worst thing a Duckworth has done since old man Duckworth fired Gordon Bombay because he wouldn't let that kid off the team and go back.
Quack, 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 Mr. Duckworth.
wrong Duckworth.
So yeah, but that was a Mighty Ducks joke in the middle of an important racist
great-
issue.
I figured that. Yeah.
That's a big deal for me.
I
I like
mean-
that.
That's good. That's good placement. Joke placement.
Meghan McCain, I do agree with her. I mean, the View is a different kind of show than so versus the Talk. It's definitely a different. Someone else was writing that on Twitter, like.
Am I the only one? I'm sorry. Can I stop you for a second here? Am I the only one who thinks that the Talk should be audio only and the View should be visual only?
You mean the other way around?
The View should be visual only.
Yeah, you should just be able to watch them and not hear them. Whereas
On
the
mute.
Talk, you should be able to hear them and not see them.
That would be good. That would
Am
be
I
interesting.
alone on this? Go ahead, Janine. You were making a real important point. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. But I get what she's trying to say. Like, just because you're a certain gender or race doesn't mean that you're more qualified than someone who is not like a minority. I guess that's what she was trying to say.
I think she's making a big assumption here that employers are going to hire people who are not qualified just because they're of a certain race. That's not.
I think she was talking about the View, though.
Well, whoever. I mean, you hire the most qualified person, and there should be more diversity. It's not like there are a ton of Asian American people, in media. That there should be more, is what I'm saying. There should be more.
Well, I also think it's interesting. There's an interesting point too of like she makes the point of the damn show's been around for 25 years and only one. I mean, I don't know how many hosts there have been, but only one has been. A lot. Like, where is this sense of activism from your own damn show for the last 25 years?
There should be more. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, yeah, they got to be qualified, but who's to say Asian American community isn't qualified?
This is such a strange thing for me because I see both sides. I see one side where it's like the best person available should be the person who gets the job. Right. But I also see the side of where you're dealing with, it's just statistically, flat out just more white people than minorities, which is why we have the word minority, because they're just a smaller amount of people. So they, you don't get that opportunity. And then when you mix in a little spice of smoked paprika racism into the mix, where it's like, then people are just flat out racist, they don't give minorities the opportunity to get there either. So you have like this thing, like in the NFL, they have this thing called the Rooney Rule. Art Rooney was upset that there weren't enough African Americans getting a chance to coach in the National Football League.
Oh.
So you get a situation now where it's like they have to, if a coaching vacancy opens up, they have to interview, I don't know what it is, 1 or 2 black guys to do the job before they can hire somebody. Which then thus pissed off a lot of the African American coaches, because a lot of them were getting like trudged in to just do the interview to satisfy the rules and then not getting the gig anyway.
Right. So it's like, that's pointless then.
It becomes pointless because, again, the racist part of it all, is it the racist part? Is it they're just not as qualified as the other guys? Is it because they're not getting the opportunities?
It's got to all be equal opportunity for everybody. It's got to be.
Yeah.
It's a tough
everybody
thing.
needs an equal shot, and if you're qualified, you get the job.
I mean, unfortunately, it still isn't. Still isn't.
What isn't?
Any. Well, I think that a lot of places are still not equal opportunity.
Exactly. Which is
places.
terrible.
Yeah, a lot of places.
And then, like, I know, obviously, Sam, you don't think that women should get paid as much as men. We already talked about this, so
Yeah, that's
I get
you're famous for that.
I get your point there.
That was such a dick.
You misogynistic
But
bastard.
But she wasn't just talking about Asian people. She was talking about women and men too. And then somehow the story turned on to Cuomo, which, I mean, come on, it always does.
All things come back to Cuomo.
Yeah.
It's true. And his nipple rings.
Is it because he, out of all the women he took advantage of, never an Asian woman? Is that why he caught flack for this?
Ooh.
I don't know. I didn't hear the story.
Maybe. But you know what? She likes to say things that piss people off on the show. But I do feel a little kind of bad for her. Maybe not bad. I don't know what the word is. Because Joy Behar always pounces on her. Like, she is a complete...
You're on the show with Joy Behar. You got to expect to be pounced on.
Yeah.
She pounces.
But Joy's one of those people who, and I am a fan. I know a couple of people that actually know her, so I don't want to. Not that this will get back or anything.
Let me pick up some names.
I also, because I have a hard time being nasty to people who are nice to me. She was gonna come on. I was doing this thing once, and she was gonna come on. She eventually didn't, but. She was like, I'll be right. We were at this event. She's like, I'll be right over. And then they wound up moving something and she had to go on stage earlier. So, but she was very that was very nice of her to do that. She did not have to do that. But I will say she's one of these people that we lost to the political thing. Like, she used to be hysterical and slightly political. And now she's like 80% political and only like 20% funny.
That's the society right now.
It drives me crazy.
It's not
she's just way too much. And I wonder if they tell her to be like that. Obviously, like, can you be a little bit more political today? Or
I think it's they have to be. Though.
It drives numbers.
Political.
It does
Being
kind of drive numbers.
That's what everybody's talking about these days is politics.
I hate it. I can't wait for it to come back around.
I want it to be back to normal. And I feel like, no offense to Trump supporters, but I feel like ever since Trump was gone, we've lessened a little bit on politics.
Yeah, but it's always
Frank. You could go on the View. You could sit in there. They need a male host, someone who loves to bash Trump. So you're in. You're hired. You're hired.
The View is all women. The View is all women, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. If it was a male, Frank could fit right in. He would bash Trump along with all of them.
Yeah. I mean,
I just tell the truth.
But that's good though. That the View that's like it's all women. Like that's good. That's a step in the right direction.
Well, you're right. Yeah. I mean, or is it?
And doesn't Whoopi skipper that whole thing? Like she's like in charge of that whole. She kind of runs. She's the host.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
mean, I know they're all
think that
hosts,
show
but-
is incredibly annoying. Sometimes I just watch it just to get pissed off, basically.
Well, you know what I find hysterical? I don't know what's going on with Sharon Osbourne, but I did have this moment of where, like, you know, these are supposed to be like talk shows. Yeah, when they get down to real, like, nitty-gritty talk, like real topics of conversation, suddenly it like Sharon might be leaving, or she might be fired, or like what happened to like just legit talking?
Yeah.
Well, what do you want them to talk about?
I want them to talk about real things and how they feel without somebody having to get fired at the end of the week. You know,
that's fine.
It would be nice.
When you say racial stuff, that's what happens.
No, it would be nice if at the end of the week, somebody goes, you know what? I listened to what you had to say, and maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was coming at this as a different thing and whatever, and I'm going to think about it. And like, why do we, like, it's just immediately
it's too
like,
boring.
Fire this person, like fired.
It's too boring.
Here's the thing. We're so deep in
political correctness.
Being obsessed with cancel culture that there should be also, to go along with it, forgiveness culture. There should be, if someone.
God. This is not 1970.
What are you talking about? Let me make my point. My point is, someone screws up, someone says something stupid, they get called out, rightly so. Then that person, it's up to that person to ask for forgiveness and say, I'm sorry, this was wrong, and make good on it, make amends.
Yeah.
Then it's up to people to forgive and move on. So I feel like we're in the middle of that step of calling people out, and we're stuck there, but we need to move past it and learn to, that people's lives shouldn't be over, especially if they're seeking forgiveness. If they're not seeking it, then goodbye. Yeah. But if they are legitimately sorry and we can learn to forgive people, that's where we should be.
But that's not where we're at, though. And it's sometimes...
That's what I'm saying. We're not there yet.
Sometimes it's not somebody being overly racist or overly sexist or overly whatever. They're just kind of speaking their mind to what their experience is. And then right away, it's kind of like, well, we got like again, Sharon Osbourne, case in point. Now, I don't know if she said those things or not. Again, I feel like at this point, a producer would have popped up and been like, yes, she was definitely saying that. And that hasn't happened yet. So I don't know what the real truth is behind all of this. But it seems like once they get into actual good, heated conversation where you actually have legit two opposing points of talking, like conflict, they pull the cord on it, and they go. The show's on like a hiatus right now because they.
No, but you could have heated discussions and conversations. Without one side being.
But they can't because right now, case in point, the show, The Talk, is on hiatus because of all of this. When they should be on the air every day talking it out. On the
That's why you can't have all women. That's why you can't have all women.
See, Janine, you women ruin everything.
It's true.
They probably should be talking it out, but there also has to be consequences to when you screw up.
No, why? This much?
No consequences.
This much?
Yeah, really.
No, maybe we're off balance with what the consequences should be. I don't know what the correct.
Do you think that Roseanne? Do you think that Roseanne's thing that she did and her show being canceled, that was not too much? That was ridiculous.
That was just.
Let me say this one thing.
No way.
And I didn't even read this, but before we started the show, I just saw the headline and I skipped right past it. And this headline was Jay Leno apologizes to Asian American community for past jokes. Okay. Now, what bothers me about this is the Asian American thing is very hot right now because of everything that's going on. Obviously, there should be no increase in violence towards any group, obviously. It goes without saying. But it's a hot topic right now. Who the fuck is asking Jay Leno to apologize for jokes from 35 years
So
ago
stupid.
that
It's
he
so
probably
Maybe someone
doesn't
did.
even do in his act anymore.
Maybe
Right.
someone did. We just don't know about it. Maybe it was brought up to him
Why?
by 1-2 people. Who knows? Maybe they saw an old clip of his, and they go, "Oh, this
Why?
is weird."
And also,
I
the
don't
other
know.
part of this is jokes. Remember when we used to joke with each other? Like,
What's that? What's that?
remember Don Rickles? Don Rickles would do everybody, and everybody laughed and was okay, and nobody got their
Yeah, and
feelings
you could do
hurt.
that if that's your style. If you insult everybody, and yourself included,
But do
and
you think
whatever.
that
But
Jay Leno, who is by all accounts outside of David Letterman, nobody should have a problem with Jay Leno. Like Jay Leno.
and Conan.
Okay, Conan. I forgot about Conan. Sorry, Conan. Sorry, Coco. Yes, outside of those two gentlemen, here's a guy who literally took less money so that he could pay his staff. He didn't have to lose any of his staff, and then he gave him raises. Like, the guy is a sweetheart.
Yes,
No, he really
which is great. Which is why he says, "I'm sorry. We all forgive." And whoever he insulted forgives, and we move on, and it's over.
No.
I know, but
No,
Frank,
that's
you
the
act
way it
like
should be.
you act like we don't have a problem. We're trying, like, the problem is we're trying to get pieces of shit racists not to beat up Asian Americans right now.
Yeah.
That is how that gets associated with a Leno joke from God knows when is where you lose me.
Of
Yeah.
course, but it's not.
I'm not saying that people shouldn't apologize for what they did years in the past. In a lot of cases, it's probably quite appropriate to be like, hey, you were doing this for a couple of years and it's not funny and it's not appropriate. That's all well and good.
Sure.
But you have a legit, genuine problem right now where violence against a certain race is higher than disproportionately higher.
Whatever brought
Probably
this thing up.
those Kung Flu comments didn't help all that much. Am I right, side
yeah.
people? But that's where we should be focused on, not fucking the goofy big chin guy.
Which is why it's not a huge story, probably, and it's probably just a blip. And he'll say, "I'm sorry," and we should move on. That's it. It should be, "I'm sorry. This was offensive. I get it. I've learned since then, and it's never going to happen again. I apologize." And then, as a society, we have to learn to go, he's done right now. He's apologized. Here's the example. He's setting an example. That's what it should be.
I mean,
It's not being a pussy. It's being
I
right.
don't agree with that.
You don't think we should forgive people who want to be forgiven?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that. How can I say this? I don't think comedians should apologize for their jokes.
It's it's this weird thing where our folk, like, again, like I said, you have a legit problem where you don't want racist pieces of shit to attack poor innocent Asian Americans who had nothing to do with what happened in China. Okay,
but yeah,
how that gets skewed over into old jokes from a comedian. That's where that's a problem. Frank.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, if whatever brought it up, it was brought up, so it has to be addressed. That's all. End of story. It doesn't matter.
I don't even know how we got there. We're like, it's happening right now where it's like,
it's not, you didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up. Someone noticed it and I guess, said, "Hey, Jay, what is this about?" And then he issued an apology. It's not like a huge, that's all it is. It's not like the main headline nowadays, because there are certainly bigger things going on right now in the community.
Yeah, bigger things like the Anthony on Air store. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
Hell yeah, shopanthonyonair.com. Look at that. That's what she said shirt. By the way,
that is what she said.
Poorest selling shirt right now in the store. And Janine came up with that. So if you love
I don't get any credit.
Janine, grab one of these. That's what she said shirts. They come in sweatshirts. They come in women's tank tops. That might be sexist.
T-shirts.
Men can wear tank tops too. But in the product description, it says women's
To
tank
show their
tops.
chest off, not their breast.
Don't take it out on me.
No.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
ShopAnthonyOnAir.com. Links and info also at AnthonyOnAir.com. So we appreciate
Pick up some merch, people.
Picking up some merch for sure.
Go get it.
Oh, shit.
Show.
I have to go.
Last topic, quickly. You could stay for the last topic, or you got to run.
I do have to run.
Okay. Do we want to save the penis pollution story for another time?
It's already 9. It's already 9.
We can't. Wait, hold on a second. We can't possibly, Frank, talk about penis pollution with Janine not here. So let's tease it.
It's
for
kind
the
of a good
episode.
point.
Yeah. Let's tease it for
That's
the
what she said.
We'll leave it there. Appreciate you guys watching and or listening. We will catch you on the next episode. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you did, please share the show around on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Share the visual show. Share the podcast version. We appreciate it.
Yes, let's get those numbers up, people.
Thank you guys so much for sharing, and we'll catch